Another car show. Got Mike out in front of us there. We're going over to China to a car show they're having in the school there. I guess this is the furthest drive we've ever taken, the old girl. I think one of the nicest things about doing a car show like this is getting to ride there. You know, me and Mike get a couple, 3 or 4 hot rods out, run together, go to a car show, stop someplace, grab a biscuit and a cup of coffee, and go a little bit more. That just kind of makes it fun.
It's fun.
It's all about it's all about riding and driving, and that's what makes it fun.
Yeah, my daughters used to play softball up here, and then they were here.
You getting a lot of customers, a lot of people want to whack your car?
Yeah, quite a few actually. Pretty much, take out their sledgehammer, mallet, just hit the car.
Without a burger. Yeah.
Once you walk over there and come back, that line over there.
Yeah, the title. I thought it was bigger, but it's not. Yeah.
Fine. Thank you.
Sorry about laughing at your truck, but we like it.
Thank you.
Sure.
Yeah, you can do that. If I can do it, anybody can. We're on the way home from the car show. We won a trophy, second place. Somebody said I should chain it to the grill shell. Maybe I will. There's Mike up there in the front of us in his sedan. Dave back there behind us in his A-model pickup truck. We decided to start a car club. We're going to call ourselves Junkyard Dogs. Mike's going to draw him. Jackie will be the mascot, and Mike's going to draw the emblem, and we'll put it on our jackets, and we'll look like hoods. It's a pretty good little car parade. We got Mike up front in his 32 rod, and here we got me in the 33 rat rod. We got that 30 A-model pickup truck back there. There's a 65 GTO behind him, and a 65 Chevy 2 behind that. I love it. Back there with the A-model. Okay, here we are after the car show. Oh, you know, we won a trophy. Look at that. Woo! Somebody said I should chain it, you know, like in the Road Warrior. Yeah. Somebody said, chain that thing in the road to the grill there, like the Road Warrior. Maybe I will. Anyway, there you go. My little sweet car won a trophy.
On the trophy shelf.
Okay, I was out in the hot rod yesterday. My hood ornament kept bouncing around, and that's annoying. And every time it bounces around, it comes loose. And when I pulled the screws out of it, it has some little small screws in it that is supposed to hold it to the hood. And I don't know, for some reason, it seemed like it must have worked on an old Packard from the factory, but it ain't working on my hot rod. It needs something a little more substantial to hold it to the hood. So what I'm doing here, you can see I got the poor bird locked in my drill press. I got it lined up very carefully and clamped in place with a piece of leather so that this won't, you know, scratch his wings up. And I got my smallest little bit on here. I'm going to drill a hole all the way through him and then gradually go up in sizes till I get the right size hole. And then I'm going to go buy me a brass screw about this long with a straight headed screw on the top, and I'm going to put it down through the top. I'm going to put a plate under my grill shell that kind of goes across there to tighten it up so it don't bounce around quite so much. And then I'm going to put a lock washer on there and tighten it all up together. And I'm going to use these two little screws that used to be in here just to kind of station it in the right place. And then I'm going to cut a piece of something to go under it, maybe a piece of rubber, or I might even use a piece of this leather. But that's what I'm working on. I just thought I'd share that with y'all. Okay, I drilled this baby out. I went to the store. I was going to get me a brass screw, but I came across this hex head steel bolt that I like better. It's stronger. It's easier to tighten. I've got a big fat washer to go up under it and a locking screw. So I should be able to attach this right onto the radiator like it was, and buddy, I'll be able to get some traction on that. You know what I mean? Tighten that down good. It shouldn't be loose anymore. Almost forgot, I was going to cut me a little piece of rubber to go underneath it, and for that I'm using this old piece of floor mat material. It should do just fine. What I'll do is make a hole for my screw, stick it through there. Might cut this better with a knife. Okay, got my little rubber piece cut out, and made a couple of holes in there for the screws to fit through, like that. That way when this sits down on the car, it'll be riding on something other than just metal, which I think is a good thing. Now let's put her on. Alright, she's on there good and sturdy now. So let's take her for a ride and see how she does. I'll set the camera up here. Well, I don't want to do that. Last time I did that, I got bugs and gravel on my lens and I ruined a good camera. So I'll shoot through the windshield instead. She's good and firm up there now. I think that's going to be just fine. It's dirty.
Well, I thought today would be a good day to wire in the new light that I bought for the hot rod the other day. I did go ahead and clean it up, a little Windex here, and I'm going to attempt to put a light bulb in here. I've got all these boxes of old lights. I never throw anything away, so I'm going to see if I can take the insides out of one of these lights and put it in there, put a light bulb in there, hook it up to my brake lights and my running lights, and see how that looks. Okay, I found the light I can use. I've got several of these things, but it would be quite a interesting chore to mount all of that inside that little light. So I did find one of these old-fashioned lights here. Okay, I take it back, and looking through my lights, I found this one, which has sort of the old-style light mounted on a piece of metal here. It looks like if I flip those two ears off, I can pull that whole piece of metal and that light out. That'll give me that piece of metal to put inside there and mount. That'll be easier than cutting up this old light. And who knows, I might wish I'd had that old light saved at some point on an old car. So I'll use this instead. I think that'll work. And it looks like it's got a nice, clean, new light set up in it. So that should be perfect. Okay, before I go too far, I always like to test my stuff before I put it into place. That would be my running light. And that would be my brake light. So that works. Alright, here's what I'm thinking. This piece of metal here, I basically what I did is I just bent it and curled it with the idea that I believe I could curl it like a spring and slip it right inside this brass lamp. Okay, here's what I've come up with. When I had all that metal work up in here, the bulb was actually taller than the top of the light up here. So what I did instead is I went down under here and I kind of curled up that metal in such a way where it sort of fits in here like a clamp. You sort of squeeze it together, push it up in here, and then it fits snug up in this part. And then the part that the light goes into comes up through this hole, which I had to enlarge just a little bit. And having done that, I can get my bulb in there. Here's my two wires, which I'll run over to the brake and the running light, and this should be grounded on this metal. So I guess the next thing to do is get me a hot wire over here and test it and see if it's working, and then if it is, see how it looks once it is working. Okay, what I've done is I've ran a wire from my running light here and made sure that it was hot, which it is. You can see it lighting up the tester there. And then I ran it over here to the bulb, and that's the dim light or the running light, and that's the brake light. And to be honest with you, I think that looks kind of honking. You can sort of see the bulb in there, but it really does a lot. It kind of goes right along with the old-fashioned look of it. So I'm liking that a lot. So pretty much all I got to do is attach this wire that's in my hand to that wire where I'm getting my fire, attach this wire to my brake line. That should be good. Okay, I've got my brake light wired in. It's kind of interesting. I don't know if you can see it, but there's all these little places where this thing was vented so that fire could be in there. So there's these little tiny holes all the way around the edge, which are going to light up when the lights are on. And there's a red diamond light on the side. And then that's what it looks like with the brake light. And then there's this green light on the other side. And that's what it looks like. Like I say, with the brake lights, I'll go, let's see set you right here, and I'll just switch that over to the running lights so you can see that. Okay, that's brake lights off and regular running lights on. And that's a very cool old-fashioned look, in my opinion. I just love that. Okay, so I'm done with this. I'm going to work on the Volkswagen some, pull this thing out of here. Woohoo! I love it. Alright, right after I put this linseed oil thing on here, people were kind of quick to point out that it would look a lot better with a couple of clamps on it. I agreed, but I didn't have a couple of clamps the day I did that. But I got some now, so throw them on there and see how they look. Okay, so here's what I did in order to extend that clamp by a little. I found a little short clamp and put on there. That way the end of the short clamp will go up into this one, and then the end of this one will go up into that one. And then we have thus made a little bit longer clamp. So let's try that. Okay, there she is, and I do have to admit she looks better. There's a little pucker in here, but there's a piece of metal behind that. You can't literally wrap that all the way around it. And it's pretty good, you know, good enough for a rat rod. I'll go with it. If it's alright with y'all, it's alright with me. I'll leave it just like that. One of the things I've often wanted to do is get a cool view of this thing going down the road, and it's kind of hard to figure out how to hold a camera and drive it at the same time. So I rigged this up. I put this trailer hitch on here a while back. I wedged a little piece of oak in there so it wouldn't rattle around. I welded a piece of pipe on it. Gorilla taped the GoPro hanger to it. Put the GoPro out here on the edge of it and tied a little safety string on here just in case this thing broke loose. I've had that happen before. And so we're going to give her a try like that and see how she looks going down the road. We'll take a ride and check it out. Well, maybe that was just a little bit too much torque for it. It's sort of facing the wrong way here. I need to tighten my screws a little better to try that again, I think. Okay, I'm out here just studying things. I've got a wet spot here, and I don't know if that's from where that can of gas was sitting, or if there's actually something leaking from here. And I'm trying to, this says oil cleaner. That's the oil filter, but it's upside down. It looks to me like there's a band here, and it looks to me like if you pop that band off, it would dump all the oil out. And I know this thing has an oil filter down under there. Somebody made a comment the other day about it saying Quaker State. Anyway, I was talking about the overdrive, that cable. You know, the cable drive that comes off the dash, and here it is right here, and I see it turning and going down. So I'm guessing that probably does run down to that transmission. That probably is the overdrive. You know, there's just a lot of little things that need to be ironed out on this baby. They can be, though, and they will be over time. Ain't that interesting? Looky there, the fuse right on that regulator there. She's smoking a little bit out the overflow. I don't know if that means anything or not. I know it does when you're running it. It usually means the rings are a little worn, but I'm not sure what it means if it smokes after you cut it off. And I need a screw in my power steering unit down there, and I've got a 57 Ford unit in the barn. It probably has one of those in it. I don't know if any of y'all ever noticed this or not. This thing has a 3-bladed fan. 3 blades, 1, 2, 3. Ain't that cute? Doggone. And let's see, I don't have any brake lights right now. This is my brake light sending unit. And probably the first thing to do would be to go check my light bulbs. But I ain't going to do that today. I'll do that another day. I'm going to take the hot rod out and go up to Kenny's. I dropped my window crank spring while ago. I think I'll take this one up to Kenny's and see if I can find it. Give me an excuse to get it out and ride around in it a little bit. That was a pretty interesting ride in a Ford. It would be better. I can really tell it would be better with the overdrive because that car is geared way lower than I expected it was going to be. I wonder if they changed that over because they've got it set up to pull a trailer with. I saw where it used to have air shocks on the back because the air lines are still in there, and I saw where the springs have been reinforced and it's got that big trailer hitch on the back. I wonder if they swapped some gears and put a lower gear in that thing to pull trailers with. We'll find out. Knocked y'all right off the dash. Sorry. Too much, too quick. The other day I was thinking about how 63 Impala had put a coffee can on his alternator. I thought, oh, that sure was cool. Why don't I come up with something cool like that? And I was looking for a coffee can, and Mike gave me one. But it's a coffee can. It's all wrapped in paper. It ain't painted. And I was looking around for a painted coffee can, and I saw this thing. I thought, oh. When I saw that, I thought, man, wouldn't it be cool to cut this apart and take that part that says motor oil and put it over this canister. This is a this car has a oil filter, gravity-fed oil filter. It pumps the oil into this. It goes through the canister through the filter and then drains back down into the motor. And I thought, wouldn't it be cool to cut that motor oil thing and put it right on there? But then I thought, well, I don't know. I was just sitting here looking at it, and I turned around and I saw this boiled linseed oil can. And I cut the bottom out of this can the other day to make something when I was working on the Honda. And I thought, well, that'd be kind of cool too. I wouldn't have to kill a good can to do it. I could cut the top off of that and stretch that around there and have that say boiled linseed oil. That'd be certainly a conversation piece. Kind of a little bit ridiculous, but I often am. So I'm gonna think along those lines. I might take my grinder, just go ahead and whoop the top off of there and see how that would fit around that, and see what it would take to attach it to there. That might be kind of fun. Let's see how that goes. Oh, I've got my friend Mr. Tripod with me here, and I'm going to bring Mr. Tripod over here, and I'm going to ask him real nice to hold my camera while I'm doing this work. That way I won't be trying to do one thing with one hand and another thing with another hand. That way it'll all kind of make sense. At least it will for me. Some people don't like to use a tripod. Some people like to try to balance, everything in one hand, but I like to use a tripod. I just do. I can't say why exactly. It's just something about me. I think that looks kind of honking a little bit. If I set that right there and get me a clamp, I can get me a clamp to go around the top of here and clamp that, and I might trim this bottom so it's not hitting against that valve cover. That's kind of cool in a way. I'll cut the bottom off a little bit. Okay, that's kind of ugly, but it's ugly in a very cool sort of way. I like it, and it ain't hurting nothing, and it's easy to get off there. All I have to do is pop them two little bands off, and they come right off. Not that I need to. I can just take the screw loose, lift my canister out, and change my oil without having to mess with that. So that's cool. I like it. Very cool. Okay, 63 Impala, I didn't wind up cutting up your can after all. He's a nice guy. I had emailed him and asked him what would he think if I cut up his can, made something else out of it other than a Banjer, and he said, yeah, that's fine. What you gonna make out of it? And I said, well, I'd rather make it first and then tell you. But as it turned out, I did that instead. I'm still thinking of something to do on the, I'm absolutely copying him, by the way, and I give him credit for that, but I am still thinking of something on my alternator. I like the way he put that coffee can on the alternator on his rat rod truck, and I'm blatantly going to copy that idea. But I think what I'll do, instead of messing up a good can like this in here, is I'll look around till I find something else like that. The trick is it needs to have writing. Like here's a can right here, but it's got a paper label. There's lots of cans around here, like that coffee can in there and all that that's got paper labels. So I'm going to look around till I find me another can that's got a metal label, and then I'll do something similar on my alternator. That'll be cool. What you're looking at here is a 1947 Ford truck. These people that own this antique shop have parked this out here, and they're going to kind of use it as a kind of a focal point to encourage people to come in and check out the antique shop. Nice little place. I'm glad to see they opened it up. They talk about maybe putting some lights in it. They just set it here. They haven't got it set up yet. Maybe putting a little mannequin in there and stuff like that. But I wanted to come up and shoot some pictures of it because my car is made out of a 1947 Ford truck. 1947 Ford fire truck, actually. And if you look at my car, you see this little bit of trim right here, and then the door hinge, and then this little piece of molding that goes around here. And you look over here, you'll see the same thing. Little piece of trim, the door molding. On mine, they cut it right across here and welded the door shut, and they cut the windshield post up here and then dropped the thing down over the frame. When they took the fenders off, you get that shape like you see on the front of mine. But my car is made out of one of these. And a lot of people ask me, you know, what was that thing made out of? Well, it's made out of one of these. So there's one sitting up here. I thought it'd be cool to come up and get some pictures of it. I talked to the nice lady that owns the shop this morning, and if you look inside there, the steering wheel and the turn signals and the heater box, all still in there. That's a nifty looking little turn signal setup. It's very similar to mine. I'd give them $1 for that. It's not rotted away on the back. That's a cool steering column. I like that. And that's what the old original dash looked like. Of course, mine was changed over. This is like I think a 28 Dodge dash in mine. They cut out the original, put it back in there. But I just thought I'd show this because it's cool and it's worth showing. like some people, 63 Impala, who's got so much garage space they don't know what to do with it all. I've only got a little bit of space to work with here, so in order to get anything done, I have to move the hot rod out and move the project car in, which is what I'm going to be doing now. But I don't want to mess up them nice new white seat covers that Honey Baby made for me. So I saved this old blanket with the idea that I could throw it over the seat covers, because I figure I can move it right now. I probably won't do no damage because I ain't got dirty yet, but after I crawl around on the floor working on Trish's car, I don't want to climb back in here and ruin them nice pretty new seat covers. I'm gonna throw this little blanket on this baby and then we'll crank her up. Let her sit out in the yard for a little while. That'll be good for her. She can get some sun on her complexion, make her feel good. She'll get the vitamin D requirements that she needs and things like that. You're awesome, buddy. You know that? You're just awesome. Yes, you are, Zachy. Yes, you are. Well, I've made an executive decision not to work on Honey Baby's car. I asked my Honey Baby if she'd make me some new seat covers for the rat rod. She did. I told her I wanted white with red diamonds, and she made them. So just looky there. That is honking. Pleases me. Pleases me all together. What do you think, Zachary? You pleased? Are you pleased? I wanted to get a shot of these new seat covers. I haven't put these new seat covers up on YouTube yet, but Trish made those.
Nice.
Isn't that nice?
Yes, they're very nice.
I described to her what I wanted. I said I want a white seat cover with 3 red diamonds, and she just went to her little sewing machine and made me up a set.
Wait, excuse. Hold on. I got a pose for it. Hold on. Yeah.
Okay. This is great. Okay then, here we go. Y'all ready?
Here it comes! I like the green spokes and wheels. Green rims.
Yeah.
It is.
What do you think, Zachary? You having a nice day? You know, you look just as handsome as ever. You saw a cat a while ago, didn't you? Yeah, you did. You were pretty excited about that, weren't you? You're pretty happy right now, ain't you? You love being out here in the yard. You're not trying to ignore me, are you? Oh yes, that's a really good pose. You have that I don't really care look on your face. That's very good.
I want to build a rod rod, just like yours.
Cool. What do you have to start with?
I have a GeoMetro.
A GeoMetro?
Yes. I have a GeoMetro.
A GeoMetro is not a car. A GeoMetro is a piece of crap.
Are you trying to say that I cannot build a rod rod just like yours using a GeoMetro?
That's right. You cannot build a rod rod like mine or anyone else's with a GeoMetro, cause it is not a car, it is a piece of crap.
But I thought if I paint it flat black, and take the hubcaps off and paint the wheels red and paint white sidewalls on the tires and paint a giant skull on the hood and a spider web on the trunk, then I'd have a rod rod just like yours.
No. You would not have a rod rod like mine. You'd have a ridiculous looking piece of crap. If you want to build a real rod rod, you have to start with a real antique car, preferably one with bullet holes in it. If you can find one that was driven by a gangster who was shot to death in it, that is best. And you need an authentic old engine. Preferably not a small block Chevy. Maybe a Packard straight 8 or nail-head Buick motor, and hook it to a 4-speed with a posy traction rear end. Then you need some wire wheels, maybe of a Model A, or 1935 Ford, and some skinny wide white bias ply tires, and exhaust pipes that point straight out and make a lot of noise.
That sound expensive. Where would I find all those parts? And who would put them together into an authentic rod rod for me?
The best place to find authentic parts is from an old guy.
But don't old guys have hairs protruding out of their ears? And even if I did have to face an old guy to get an original old body, who would put it together for me?
It's best if you put it together yourself, but if you cannot do that, then you need to find someone with a lot of tattoos and metal dust in their lungs from years and years of body work. You need to drink beer and smoke cigarettes and hang out in a garage listening to hard rock music, marveling over every aspect of the build, in order to respect the metal.
But I don't like beer. Alcohol is not good for you. I don't like to smoke. And hard rock music gives me a headache. And I don't like to get dirty. Couldn't I just saw the roof off my GeoMetro and put an Indian blanket on the front seat?
No.
What if I put a dead rubber rat on the windshield wiper?
No.
I've got a friend who knows someone who was in the military. He may still have a gun. He could shoot holes in my GeoMetro.
I think that would be a good idea.
I've decided I need a hat just like this one.
You do, yeah.
I'm supposed to make a picture and a bio for
Yeah.
my staff pick for our website.
Yeah.
I've decided this one should be it.
This is my first Supermodel shoot with the rat rod. And I'm going to put this out so everybody can see that it's really happening. I knew it would someday.
Yes.
You so got the look.
I was made for this.
You were made for that. You were, yeah. You might have discovered a whole new career here.
Driving around, she's like,
That's actually what you needed in the convertible yesterday,
I
right?
know, right? I was like, wow, I need
know,
one of those.
People say, well, what's with the hat and goggles? I said, and I actually started driving this when I didn't have a windshield in it.
Right.
Yeah.
No, but hair, look at it.
Yeah.
That was so funny. No, that was
Yeah.
fun. That was a good time.
Audrey, you going to do a model shoot for me? Because I think you'd look honking too. Look at her. There she goes. Awesome. Awesome.
There you go.
Yeah, like that. Okay. That's a shot right there. That's the look right there. That's the one right there. That's the one that's going in the Hot Rod magazine right there.
Yes.
Lisa is about to take her first ride in the Hot Rod.
Yes, I
You
am.
look, I mean, you look, I don't know how to describe it. I'm speechless. I'm wordless.
I do that. to
You have the
people.
look.
All this is it, man.
You have the look.
I know. I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
What do you think? What do you think?
I think it's awesome. I wanted to get a shot of these new seat covers. I haven't put these new seat covers up on YouTube yet, but Trish made those.
Nice.
Isn't that nice?
Yes, they're very nice.
I described to her what I wanted. I said I want a white seat cover with 3 red diamonds, and she just went to her
There it
little
is.
sewing machine and made me up a set.
Wait, excuse. Hold on. I got to pose for it. Hold on.
She's got the look.
Where's the tattoos? Oh, the tattoos?
You got to see the tattoos. Let me.
I would wear it. I would drive down the road in it.
I'll do it.
There we go, baby. Yeah.
You gonna give rods in Cinderella?
Yeah.
That's awesome. In my opinion, that's about as cool as it gets. The grandkids come over and they all want to ride in the hot rods, so we take turns taking them rides. That's a pretty good deal. Todd took Lisa for a ride. Let's see, he's the second person that's ever driven it other than me. My boy Josh drove it, and now Todd's driven it. He's Trish's son. So there you go.
That's bad.
Sweet. I have to say, you look good in that thing.
Yeah.
Okay, we got a good start on that. We can finish it up after the car show. So we're gonna close everything up, go in and get cleaned up, and have something to eat. Say what?
You want to eat snacks while out of the truck?
Nah. But I want to make sure the windows are up on, well, and my roof. Sweet. I have to say, you look good in that thing. I wanted to get a picture of my honey baby. She's out here waxing her car. We're going to the car show tomorrow, and it just does my heart good to see her out here waxing the doodlebug.
Yeah.
Bless your little heart. This is cool.
Making her look pretty.
The rat rod's running good. Me and Josh are going to get washed up and go get some gas in it. And, yeah, life is good.
Alrighty then. Well, we're on the way back from the museum, picked up the hot rod, stopped by the parts store, bought a few odds and ends. We're going to go home and do some tuning up and stuff on all of them and get them all ready for the show tomorrow. Should be wicked fun. That boy back there's got a grin on his face from ear to ear. Yesterday we brought the rat rod home from the museum. Here, there it is, so you can see it. And when we got it home, it wasn't running all that great. It wouldn't idle. It's been idling funny lately. So we decided we're going to have a carburetor rebuild today. And I've actually got two of those carburetors. I bought a new one for the Rambler, so I've got the old one. These are Edelbrock carburetors. They're actually Carter AFBs. Not the most common carburetor around these days as far as 4-barrel goes. But I got two of them. They're probably both needing not so much of a rebuild, just to clean out. I find, you know, from time to time they might get something in the gas or trash in them or water or who knows what. And so what we're going to do is we're going to take them both. We're going to put them here on the table. My son's here. He's never rebuilt a carburetor before. So we're going to pull them both apart, put them both back together. That way we get two cleaned out carburetors and he gets to learn how to do it. So that's the plan. Okay, since we're making videos, I thought I'd show this. This is the inside of that carburetor that was on the Rambler yesterday that wouldn't idle, wouldn't run. This is dirt. You see that? A lot of dirt in there. A lot of dirt in here. This is the gas that runs the car. Has to pass through a lot of little tight spaces, through needle valves, jets, and things like that, and it's filthy. In fact, this whole carburetor is just completely filthy. So we're about to, well, one of the things we'll do is we're going to clean all this up. We're going to go ahead and take everything apart. There's also a filter inside here where the gas goes in that we can wash out. I'll show it to you on a carburetor that's, I haven't lifted the lid off mine yet, but that's where that filter is, right where the gas goes into it. There's a good shot of me and Josh sitting around the man table. The man table with carburetors. I figured I'd just do another update before we start putting these back together. Generally, if the carburetor don't work, it's because something's dirty or it's leaking air. Gas filter stopped up, something like that. So
Basically, we've cleaned them all apart, cleaned them all up, and we're putting them back together now. And that's the way it works. He's becoming a carburetor man very quickly. Hey, listen, I had trouble getting this thing, well, it wasn't running right. And we redid the carburetor, put it on there, and it runs exactly the same as it did before. So I'm messing around with the points, and I thought, well, I might as well show this. A lot of people have never seen a car with points. This is the rotor cap. Goes on right there. I pulled it off. Took the distributor cap off, which is this thing. You'll see there's little gizmos inside there. This thing turns around and transfers the fire through the top of that plug out to the end of here and through there and out to each spark plug. Anyway, this point gap, when it's on the high side of this cam, which here's the cam right here, and this is the arm that rides on it, this is supposed to be 16 thousandths, and if you'll notice, it's not. In fact, I believe it's almost close. So what I have to do is I have to take a screwdriver, loosen this screw, and widen this out until it is 16 thousandths and retighten it. Once I have the right gap there, I'm suspecting it's going to run pretty good. We'll give it a try. What I wound up doing was changing this thing over to a 12 volt. It had a 6 volt coil on it. And basically, as far as the ignition system goes, that's the only 6 volt piece it had on there. I had my hot wire running through this resistor to reduce it to a 6 volt. I had a 12 volt coil I bought a while back, so I threw it on there because it wouldn't run. I was getting sparks at the points, but not at the plug wires. And obviously that old coil gave out. I was planning to change this over to 12 volts a day anyway, so I threw that coil on there, and that worked out good. I've been adjusting my carburetor. I got it to where it's getting closer. It ain't perfect, but it's getting closer.
This is a 1933 Chevy frame, boxed and extended with a suicide front end on it, a 40 Ford front end, a 57 Ford 9-inch rear end. Has a 53 Cadillac engine tied to a T10 5-speed transmission. The body is made out of a 47 Ford fire truck, chopped and channeled over the frame. The back of the car, the turtle deck's made out of a 57 Ford hood. The trunk bed's made out of a Coke machine. I don't know what the grill came out of. I narrowed it about 6 inches when I put it on there. I don't know what else to tell you. It's kind of homemade. My idea in building it was I wanted an old-fashioned hot rod that was something like we used to throw together cars out of spare parts when I was a kid because we couldn't afford real cars. And at a certain point, I stopped building street rods because I put all I had into trying to build something nice and take it to a car show and people go out and do it. It made me feel bad, so I just kind of walked away from it. But at a certain point, I figured out that people were building these old cars again, and I said, heck, I'm going to get on that train. So I found this thing and drug it home and pieced it together. And people occasionally say, well, it don't run very good, but that's a 53 Cadillac motor that's never been rebuilt. And I always figure if it runs at all, we're doing pretty good. So that's kind of the deal here.
Now, I have to say, having met you through borrowing this, having it on loan here at the museum, I have to say I really appreciate your sense of humor with this car. As we walk around it, if you haven't been close to the rat rod yet, painted just above the Coca-Cola lid on the back, it says, it's okay to touch my car, just don't cut yourself. I've got to respect the fact that you realize that this thing looks a little bit dangerous, but you've certainly got a great creation.
I was putting gas in it yesterday, and this guy walked up, and he said, that don't look safe. And I said, yeah, that's the way it's supposed to look. And he kept walking around it, and I looked at him, I said, you want it, don't you? And he said, yeah.
That's a reaction that I've seen around here. People, they either don't know what to think of it, or they absolutely love it, because it certainly does have an unfinished, unrefined look to it. But when you start to look a little more closely, you start to see that there's a lot of, not just humor, but innovation and inventiveness. If you take a look, those of you who are close up to it with me, looking at the pedals, the brake pedal, the clutch, the gas pedal, even the gear shift. We've got a piston mounted on top of a series of wrenches that have been welded together, make up the gear shift. The pedals are, well, you've got a crank neck wrench in there. Yeah, that started with the alternator bracket. I originally tried to hang the original generator on that Cadillac motor, but they mounted all the exhaust manifolds, and the ones I had were rotted out. And to be honest with you, I really wanted the headers, so I realized I was going to make them, so instead of using that, I took an alternator. And I was able to get the bracket, I needed a piece of metal about this long, and I had a wrench that was busted.
I thought, that's just like the right size of that wrench. So I took the wrench and drilled a couple of holes and stuck it on there. It worked out just right. I thought, that's just kind of a nice idea. So as I went along on the car, I had, pile of old tools I collected over the years. And I found something that could fit, like the little holder for the brake line is made out of wrenches, and the throttle connection is made out of wrenches. And I got a pedal in there made out of wrenches. And my shifter, just kind of, just whatever piece or part I can find to just kind of, do whatever I needed to do. I tried to figure out how to make it work.
I know that they put you on the spot a little bit, but can you think of what's the most creative or innovative touch that you see on here that you're most pleased with? It would be particularly spectacular, but you just like the innovation or the adjustment.
I don't think of it as creative or anything touch, but I've built truck for 25 years and I love to shift gears. These Cadillacs came with a straight shift transmission. But back in the day, wasn't an automobile bell house and flywheel and changed them over to straight shift. This engine was all raised from 49 to 55, so this is the first open valve V8 that GM made. Came from tracking to 210 horsepower as opposed to 5 V8, which has 110. Everybody's trying to get one of these race cars. If they didn't want them old automatics they had back then, they wanted to shift gears. Since I couldn't find any old antique parts to make it work, I went out in California, actually fabricated up the flywheel and bell houses and stuff. Power bearing and a whole bunch of other parts. I just spent more money on that than the rest of the car. So I really wanted to shift gears. So the idea that I got a straight shift transmission,
that's great. I've got one more question about this. I see you have a V8 engine, but I only see 6 exhaust pipes coming out of this. Can you tell me why and how?
Yeah, I can. If you ever look at flathead V8, it's got 3 exhaust pipes, but it's got 8 cylinders. The reason for that is, back in the day, they shared the center port. A lot of people look at it and they'll say, that's a V6. And I say, no, you got plug wires. You came out with this motor, like I say, it had 100 horsepower more than the Ford flathead V8. They had all the power they needed. They didn't, they may have thought, well, we could make a separate exhaust port, but why bother? If we're coming out with a motor that has 100 more horsepower than a competition, we're all set. So they had that motor like that until 55 when they came out with the 265 V8 in the Chevy. Of course, that one had 4 ports and 4 exhaust pipes. So they figured out by then that they could get more horsepower out of it that way.
That's great. One more item of interest to you that has fascinated me. I learned a lot about this car, but also a lot about some of the other things you do. You have many videos available on YouTube, particularly about the build and the creation of this vehicle. How can we see a little bit more of this?
Well, yeah, I started. My brother lives in South Carolina, and him standing right over there. Since he was a long ways off, I kind of wanted to share this with him, so I started shooting videos as I was building it and putting it online. Well, lo and behold, other people started watching, and they started commenting, and they started, making suggestions. I even had people send me parts. This is a 63 Chevy truck mirror that a guy named Angel took off the truck out of California and mailed it to me and said, put this on the rack rod somewhere, and I did. So, it turned out pretty good, and over time I just kept making more and more videos and started shooting other people's hot rods and different things in my life. I built antique musical instruments, I built banjos out of junk, stuff like that. In fact, the transmission that came out of this car was a Dynaflow, and the torque ring inside the torque converter on that Dynaflow is just about right for a banjo. I actually took it out and made a banjo out of that. It thrilled me to have the old Cadillac engine and make a banjo out of the old transmission that came out of it. But anyway, yeah, you can, you just type in RPEK, RP on YouTube, and you'll see about both those videos I got there on this and that and the other thing.
Thank you for letting my question.
Well, that's fantastic, Richard. We appreciate you being here today, loaning us this as a promotion for the show. We certainly hope to see the Rat Rod and you, and hopefully some of your banjos back here at other shows this summer. We'd love to get you playing here sometime just to fiddle around for the day. But we appreciate you being here. Thank you very much.
Just for a second.
Wave a ring
No. Ladies and gentlemen, in about 2 minutes, we invite you to meet us in the newest exhibition, MGs and Microcars, located all the way to the north, to the back of the museum, behind the right flyer, up the ramps. A tour of the MG and Microcar exhibition, our latest exhibition, just opened a few weeks ago.
Well, today's the day we pick up the rat rod. My boy is here. He's come up to visit from South Carolina. We're going to drive the Rambler down to the Owl's Head Transportation Museum, and he'll drive the rat rod back home. And then we'll probably change the oil on it and do a little tuning up and things like that. And then tomorrow, we're all going back to the museum, have a little picnic down there. Should be wicked fun. I'm looking forward to it. Okay, we're here to pick up the hot rod. One of the things that I think is kind of amazing is when they open this big hangar door. So I wanted to get out here with my camera before they do that. It is something special.
Hey, how are you?
No thanks.
That's Transportation Museum. I think I'll get a shot of that. Well, we made it down here to the museum, and we'll see where they want the old girl. That'll be kind of fun. It's kind of interesting to watch this big old door come open.
Hi Leo, how are you? Now that's my idea of a real automobile. That is.
Well, I was up and out early this morning racing the rain. It looked like it was, well, the weather was all saying it was going to rain for about a week here. But I wanted to get my sticker, so I busted the old girl out of the garage kind of early and took her out for a quick run over to the hot rod shop to get my sticker on this baby, and I got her on here now. So we're just on the way back home, trying to get home before it rains on us. I'll try to hang y'all over the edge there so you can see a little bit of the car instead of just looking at my ugly mug as we ride along here. Well, there's something kind of exciting going on today, at least for me, I think. I built my hot rod out of junk, as you all know. Took it down to the car show at the Owl's Head Museum last year, and they liked the looks of it so much they asked me if I'd let them borrow it and put it in the museum, use it to promote a rod and custom show that's coming up. So I said, yeah, I think that'd be kind of cool. Kind of an honor, you know, really. So today's the day. Sun is shining. I'm going to break the old girl out of the garage, drive her down there and drop it off with them, let them keep it for a while. Keep it till my boy comes up. He's flying up in June for the car show. So I told him I'd want it back by then. So that's kind of fun, kind of exciting, and in a way, getting it out of the garage will give me a little extra space in here. Maybe I can get things cleaned up and all. And you know, while it's out of here, and spend some time working on Trish's car and stuff like that. But that's kind of fun. I'll let y'all ride along with me. We'll take her up to the museum and see how that works out.
Okay, we're on our way down to the museum now. Stock got our guy's stuff. She's doing real good. Riding along like a little charm. I'm just happy as can be. I'll see if I can't lead y'all out over the edge so you can get a little look at the rest of the car.
Alright, I rode the hot rod over to get it inspected this morning and they found the loose tie rod end. I think I kind of knew this tie rod end probably wasn't that great when I put it on there, but as I recall I stuck it on there and it kind of got stuck in there good and tight and I never did unstick it, so I'll unstick it today and get it off of there. Other than that, everything's good for the sticker. They were out of stickers today, so I told them to go ahead and inspect it and I'd come back to the stickers. So I'm going to go ahead and pop that tie rod end off. I went by the parts store and had them order me up one. And so basically I'll pop that baby off there so when I get the other one I can pop it on and we'll be good to go. With that said, I'll drop the camera again. Did you see me do that? No wonder I got such broke up old cameras. We are in luck. This is turning here, which is a good thing. That means I don't have very much work I have to do. I can just basically unscrew that, screw the new one back in, put it back in place. I can check my alignment. But basically I haven't turned the tires, and what I'll do is I'll kind of mark how much I've got sitting out here and also kind of double check it by where the tires are sitting. It should fall into place about right. If need be, I can adjust it more. Alrighty, I'm going to call that good. I got my tie rod end out. You can see where it's, when I put the new one in, I'll leave this same amount of space sticking out. That should get my alignment, my toe in pretty close. And if I need to adjust it, I can. But with that should take care of the sticker. And then we'll be ready to have another summer of fun with this baby. Oh, I got to get a new tag too. For today, though, I'm going to go spackle some sheetrock. That's the next thing on my agenda. So the sky is clouding up again. We got just enough sunshine this morning, just enough clear skies for me to take that thing over to the hot rod shop where they did the inspection on it. So that's a beautiful thing.
Well, this one came out nice, didn't it? Last time I was in here, you guys was
I was going to burn them back there, but I saw a cop sitting at the store, and I figured I better not. I was going into the state.
Daniel, put a thumbs up.
Oh,
Big thumbs up.
That. That's the best shot of the show right there. Let me shoot her with this camera.
Hey, hold on, you want to take one more?
I just got to take one picture.
Smile.
Oh, she's great.
She'll hold it.
Now I can say I've had a supermodel in my hot rod.
Oh!
I love that.
Yay! Good job, Danny. Thank you for that.
Get out.
Yeah, she's got to put her.
Grab a hold of the wheel.
Hey, Danny, look this way. Big thumbs up.
I love that.
Cool.
I want to drive.
She said, I want to drive.
She won't get out of it now.
What's the screwdriver, Joe?
Turn it.
Oh.
Oh, the windshield went.
Awesome.
That's high tech right there.
Yeah.
So there we go.
So there we go. I'm going to go take a hot rod ride with my new GoPro camera strapped to my head. I think 63 Impala said something about strapping a camera to my head sometime in the past there. So you ought to get a kick out of this.
Yeah,
I thought I put my cowboy hat up here, but I think the brim would sort of defeat the purpose.
Yeah,
you know?
there he goes with his GoPro on his head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll go see how this looks.
Okay.
See you later.
Good luck, honey.
Yeah.
Yeah. You sure look cute.
Oh, yeah, I know you'd like it.
Y'all might notice she's idling a little fast, and I don't know why. When I come home from the car show the other day, she started doing that, and I backed the idle screw on the carburetor out completely, and she's still idling a little fast, so I gotta play with that a little bit. It's not so much where you can't drive it, but it's enough so it aggravates me. I like her to idle slow. I like that old slow loping idle. Anyway, okay, this was a test of the camera, so we're going to go in the house and see what the video looks like. Stick my little battery keeper back on here before we go in. I like to use this. I got one of those high dollar batteries, and they say it's good for it to leave this on it, so it's okay with me. Me and Cinderella's got to have a little quality time here pretty soon. I'm working on it.
For quite some time I've been contemplating buying me a new camera. This one that I'm shooting with right here is held together by rubber bands. You know, when you have a camera around a hot rod out in the garage, it's kind of rough on it. This other one here that I like quite a lot has a pretty badly damaged lens that makes everything look bad. And I wanted a camera that was strong enough to withstand all the tortures that I put it through. So I started looking at the GoPro, which is a sports camera. You can put it inside of a case. You can even submerge it in water. People hang on the side of race cars. It's supposed to be really rugged. So I've been thinking quite a while about buying one. Well, we got a big car show coming up Sunday, the first one of the season. And I thought I'd really like to have that camera before the season starts. So I ordered it. And here it is, my new GoPro. And I haven't even took it out of the box yet. Oh, just look at it. And look how tiny it is. It's less than half the size. I don't know if you can tell the size of it or not, but like, here's my hand, and here's the camera. So it's less than, it's a tiny little thing, and it has a case inside it. Has a lot of attachments where you can hang it onto the side of your car. I will be showing you pictures made with this baby as we go along. Okay, I'll show it to you again now that it's out of the box. Pretty tiny, don't you think? Got it upside down. Has a place for a memory card over here and places to hook up, I guess, battery chargers and things over here. Big battery goes in the back. Pretty interesting. I think I'm going to take the manual to work with me today and read that. It also has this little waterproof case that the camera goes in, and a whole lot of accessories to hang it on the side of your car and such and whatnot. You can actually charge it just by plugging it into your computer. So there it sits there, the little red light is on, it's plugged in. It's supposed to charge about 4 hours.
Okay. It's my first day with my new GoPro camera, and I'm learning how it works. I'm using the default settings, and I've got it inside its little protective case. There's something very cool about the protective case. It has two back doors. It has this back door which seals it up so that you can drop it in water and it won't hurt it. And then it has a second back door that allows you to be able to get more sound into the camera. And I'm reading the instructions here, and the instructions say this door allows more sound to reach the camera microphone and reduces wind noise up to 100 miles an hour when mounted on helmets, motorcycles, bikes, and other fast-moving vehicles. Surprisingly, yes, the non-waterproof back door does help reduce wind noise, but only up to 100 miles an hour. If you're going faster than 100 miles an hour and the camera is in the wind, the sound will get better with the sealed back door. Now, friends and neighbors, I want to tell you, buying a camera that has instructions on how to use it at above 100 miles an hour is my idea of the right thing to do. I just never realized there was such technology out there for old coots like me with hot rods. That's awesome! I just love it. on video?
Yeah, it's running right
Oop,
now.
okay, wait a minute. I might have just pushed something. No, it's running in it. You sit there. Do it again. Do it again. I got it. No, keep doing it. I'm going to tell on you if you don't do it for me. That's funny.
You know, you mentioned you still needed some work on your tractor. I thought I'd go ahead and show you how I've got the GoPro mounted up. I've actually used the little suction cup disc that came with it and have the camera mounted upside down. This camera has a function in it where you can get it to film upside down. So I'll be shooting through the windshield. I thought about trying to mount something back here, but if I mount it, I don't have a mount that sits any higher than about this, and about all you could see is the inside of the car. I thought about mounting it here on the side of the car, which actually might make a pretty good picture, but you know, it'd be ideal if you either had it higher up or kind of out here a little further maybe, and later on I might rig up something just for driving around. But for going to the car show, I don't think I want that up there. So what I thought I'd do is just, I'm going to drive it like this and just test drive it, see how it looks, go get some gas for tomorrow. Well, I was out driving the hot rod around today a little bit, and I took everything out and put it back in the other day, and it occurred to me that fire extinguisher is in the way sitting inside the cab. So it just occurred to me, well, it's an old fire truck anyway, why not hang it outside? So I did. I hung it right there on the side of the car in front of the tire. And I figured, well, that won't hurt a thing, and it's in easy reach, easy to get to if you ever need it. Kind of fits right in with the whole theme of the fire truck thing there. So there's that. That's hanging crooked. Dang. Well, I'll straighten that up. Alrighty then. I rehung the fire extinguisher so that it's at least hanging straight. Still looks a little crooked, don't it? Dang, is this thing going to force me to get a level out and tape measure? Just joking. You know I wouldn't go to such extreme measures. That's pretty cool hanging there. I like it. I'm okay with it. Okay, I remounted it again because I thought it still ain't straight. And now, dang, it still ain't straight. I'm just joking. It's good enough. I ain't going to redo it anymore. I'm sorry. If y'all can't deal with that, torque your own lug nuts. That's all I got to say. Have a nice day. Hey, it's spring outside. You know how much work we got done today? It's incredible. And you know what else? Life is good. Whee! Oh, I think I need to make a trip to the store.
Hey, I'm out at the hot rod having a little fun. Trying to make the trip to the store a whole different experience. You know what I mean? That's good. About as good as I can make it figure, I tell ya.
A couple, 3 years ago, I was driving to work one day and I seen this hot rod sitting out in the front yard by the side of the road, and looked like it was an old something that somebody had started, you know, but hadn't gotten too far along on. And the price on it was way out of my range. I knew there wasn't no way I was going to buy it. Besides, it looked fairly much like a big pile of junk, you know, but sometimes if you look at something a certain way, you can look at a big pile of junk and kind of see your next hot rod project. Well, I passed on it, but I kept driving by and I kept looking at it every day. I'd drive by and I'd look over at it, and I'd drive by and I'd look over at it, and after a while I noticed the people that was living there moved away, left it, and then it turned into winter and it snowed and got buried in the snow. I kept driving by looking at it and it didn't go anywhere. So about the time I come up with a little bit of money, I thought, dang, I bet you if I tracked them down, I might could buy that thing. Since they moved off and left it, it must not be real high on their, you know, priority list. So I tracked the guy down. He'd moved halfway across the country, made him an offer on it. Pretty hard to turn it down because his alternative was to drive all the way back up here and haul it home, which would have cost him a lot more than what he wanted for it. So I bought it and drug it home. Of course, I didn't have a place to work on it, so I had to build me a garage. And then I had to build the car. Took a few years, but eventually it got done. Well, in the process of doing that, I was shooting videos for my boy who lives down in the south still, and you know, he couldn't really share what I was doing up here and all, so I shot the videos and put them up on YouTube. Well, turned out a lot of other people started watching too. Before you know it, I had a whole bunch of people interested in what I was doing up here, the hot rod and the building of the garage and this and that. And it kind of turned into a bigger thing than I expected. I had people making suggestions and comments and criticisms, and a few people even sent me a few spare parts to bolt onto it and this and that. And it turned out pretty cool. I built me a hot rod that I like quite a lot. In fact, I'll show you a picture of it right now. Here it is right here, and you'll notice it's on a website that's not mine. If you see up in the left-hand corner there, it says Cappy, C-A-P-P-Y 6921, and then it says R Peaks Rat Rod Built-in Scale. What that's all about is that Cappy is a model car builder, and he was one of the people that was watching the hot rod there, and he kind of thought it was cool, so he decided to build one. And so he put up a video the other day that kind of goes all through the process of building a rat rod there. I'm just going to click through and go kind of quick rather than, because I'm not going to try to show you the whole video. But as you can see, as he goes along, you know, he's building a pretty good replica of my old hot rod. In fact, the farther along we get and the more, you know, we get toward the end of this, you can see that's pretty darn good. Well, it's obviously flattering to me to have someone, you know, go to all that trouble to build something sort of approximating my old hot rod, you know, and all. And he put this video up and sent it to me, and I thought, well, I bet there's a lot of people on YouTube who's been watching me build this thing who get a kick out of seeing that. So I thought I'd put this up so that you could go there yourself. I expect if you was to type in R Peaks Rat Rod Built-in Scale, that would pop right up, and then you could watch the whole video yourself, and then you could enjoy his work and kind of get a chance to see what somebody did with the idea. I thought it was wicked cool. I just thought I'd share it with y'all. Have a nice day now. See you later on.
Okay, Zachary, what do you want? What do you want?
Oh, what I want.
What do you want, big boy? You want to go outside? You think we should go outside? Want to go work on the car? All right. You want to work on the rat rod? You want to work on the rat rod? Okay. You want to work on Lee's truck? You want to work on the truck? Okay. Go out in the garage and play? Okay. Ready? You lead the way. Okay, you lead the way. Alrighty. Get the hot rod out of here. Man, this thing looks good. Woo-wee. Well, there she is, all nice and cleaned up. I just had a thought. I'd almost forgotten, but a while back, a guy at the local upholstery shop put new carpet and everything inside a '59 Cadillac. Thing had red carpet in it. He pulled it out. My neighbor was up there and he said, well, I know somebody might want that. So he grabbed it and brought it home. And this would be a good time to put that red carpet in there, wouldn't it? Yeah. Yeah, here it is up here in the attic. Oh, just look at that. Oh, gone. That's going to be good. Alright, I got my handy little knife out and I cut me out a section. These two pieces on the side was how much wider the Cadillac was than this thing. And it had a neat little pad down here where your feet would go, which is kind of cool. This thing had two sections of carpet, mine did, and this one did too, kind of a front and a back. So that looks pretty rough over there, but maybe I can get enough out of it to put under the part where the seats sit. I'll go stick this in. This has got the old-fashioned jute backing on the back where they used to have. Pretty cool stuff. I'll go stick it in the car and see what it looks like. Okay, there she is with her spiffy new red carpets in there. I still need to wash my floor mats. I'll do that another day. I'm going to go ahead and pull her back in the house. And, dang, looks pretty. Looks pretty all cleaned up. I like it. Pretty cool that it's sitting in here with the Red Baron. I'm glad they set the ropes close enough to it where you can lean over and look down into it. This might be a good day to wash the hot rod. First sunshiny day we've had, and it's supposed to rain tomorrow. We got a car show. First car show of the season is coming up May the 1st. It's like 3 weeks away. And this thing's all covered up in stuff from where I drove off in the quarry with it. I think what I might do is just come in here and pull my seats out, pull my floor mats out, take this out, and just give me a water hose and wash the whole thing. Let it sit here in the sun and dry. Got mud everywhere. She's a beauty. Well, I got her washed up. I'm going to let it sit in the sunlight, what little sunlight there is left today, and dry out. I'll put the seats and the floor mats and everything back in it after it dries out. What I might do is just let it sit there a while and then pull it in the garage and put the seats in it another day after it has time to get good and dry. This car's got oak floors and stuff, so I figure the little bit of water ain't going to hurt the wiring. You know, it's not a fragile car. It's made to be enjoyed. The idea that I can hose it down, don't have to go over it with a fine-tooth comb and clean it up a little bit at a time, works for me. So there's that. Guess I could do one more modification while I got her here. I was showing this Coke sign the other day. This used to be on the side of my house, and it's fading badly. And what I mean by that is that part that looks kind of yellow in the background. Well, it used to be red, and the sun's cooking the paint right off in it. And I was thinking it would be nice if I could use this someplace, and I was thinking, you know, it would kind of look cool just to put it right inside the trunk lid. It'd be out of the sun. If somebody flipped up the trunk, they'd see it. It wouldn't be standing there hollering out for attention, but it'd be kind of one of those things you'd see now and then. Well, I guess this was a mistake. Stan came over and did this pinstriping for me this morning, and I just leaned over in the trunk there because I was messing around with that sign. And I like my t-shirt. Oops, I guess the paint wasn't dry. Oops. I don't think I hurt it now, I know, but I don't think I'll lean over that anymore. I think I'll leave that alone for now. I'm taking her to the museum today, so it'll be the last time I'll drive it till spring. 63 Impala talked about coming to visit in May, so if he does, I suppose we'll spring it from the museum then, or before, or maybe while he's here. I don't know. We'll see how that goes. But anyway, geez, I'm going to miss the old girl, but it's all just as well. My tractor people never showed up to dig my dirt out there, so it looks like I'm going to be stuck with a small garage unless they get on the stick pretty quick. So I'll open the door. We'll take this thing down. Okay, this is us. We're heading off to the museum. Wee doggies! Okay, here she is. We're gonna leave her here. I guess I'll take my paperwork. Okay, old girl, I'll see you soon.
Have a good winter. Gonna miss her?
You bet. She'll be in a safe place and she'll be in good company here.
Right.
Be here with all the other old cars.
You get lots of attention too.
That is true. Well, I got home from work tonight and there was a video that popped up on my computer screen that just drove me right out here to the garage. Seems like Tachometer done started something. He put up a video talking about how his horn was better than my horn, and apparently he does not realize that I have got the premier horn of the universe on my rat rod. I mean, he was talking about his horn on his tow truck was better than the horn on my Saab, and yeah, of course, but that's just an old Saab. Have you ever seen this thing right here? Take a look. This is the horn on my rat rod, and I want to show you the finer points of this little baby. See right here, can you see that? It says La Jazz, and then right here it says American Legion, and it says Paris, France, and it says 1935 Paris, American Legion. And I just want you to hear this baby. Okay, you get ready. Ready? That's all a whole lot better than that little squeaky horn you got. And the one thing about this horn, you can't hardly hear that unless it makes you want to laugh. See, it's working on me already. Oh, that's just honking. Oh, I just love that. Eat your heart out, Toe Wrecker. I just had to share that with you. By the way, thanks again for the tachometer. It works beautifully. I guess while I'm out here, I might as well talk about my breather some more. I thunk about this all day long, and I decided that what it really needs is some pinstripes. It needs Stan, the man, to do some pinstripes on here. So I'm going to call Stan up in the morning and see if I can get him to pinstripe that thing for me. And if he can, I'll run over to his house and I'll get it done. Oh, that'll just be honking. Pun intended. Honking. Get it? Okay, I'll shut up now. Take y'all back in the house. It's cold out here. It's too cold for anybody to be out here in the middle of the night. See what you done gone and started, Toe Wrecker? You got to behave yourself more. That's all there is to it. Well, as a lot of y'all know, we've been on the road for a couple of weeks. We just got home, and I took the rat rod into the museum before I left to go on vacation, and I talked to Ethan while I was gone. He said they got it all set up in the museum, so I'm going to ride down today and see what she looks like in there. I've been kind of curious to see how it's sitting and how it looks and all. Just kind of wanted to visit the old girl, too, so that's what I'm up to today. Well, I see it from here. Looks like it's in good company. Sure does look good to be seeing it again. I miss the old girl. Pretty cool that it's sitting in here with the Red Baron. I'm glad they set the ropes close enough to it where you can lean over and look down into it. Alright, then I got me another idea. It's going to be one of them nights where I don't sleep at all for wanting to keep running out here and doing something different. I went in the house and somebody said, oh, come on, put one more, at least one shining thing on it. And they reminded me, I was thinking today about this here. I've got hanging over there on the wall a couple old Studebaker hubcaps that Stan gave me. They ain't no good for hubcaps, because they're all rotted away back here on the back side. The part of them that would need to clamp onto something. But that old Studebaker emblem right there is mashed right into this. What do you call that? Embossed. Now I could take and I could take and cut this right here and right here, and I could take that rounded off part and I could set it right on the front of this breather here and curl it around there, and then put like a little pop rivet in the two corners. What I could actually do is cut it like an emblem. I could cut it like an oval, up here and down, and up here and down, and then put it up there and put a pop rivet in each side, and then have that Studebaker emblem on the front of my breather. That way, I got to thinking about what I was thinking about. That sounded very intelligent, didn't it? I got to thinking about what I was thinking about with that Coke sign over there. And although it would be cool, because it goes along good with the Coke sign on the trunk back there and it kind of keeps the theme going, it would, if I wrapped it around there, cover up my rust hole. And I really like these rust holes here. Yeah, just look at that thing. Oh, that's a beauty. Dang, I love hot rods. I'm always coming up with brand new ideas in my head about this thing. You know, I probably won't get a lick of sleep tonight. I'm trying to keep from getting out here and getting started, because I got to go to work tomorrow. But I'm already visualizing that Studebaker emblem. This one here's got some dents in it. That might even be a better one to use. See how it was all dented up and scratched up? Oh, it almost looks like a bird on there, don't it? All them little dents and scratches. See, I could use that dented up and scratched one up there. I don't know. Give that some thought. I'm gonna hang that back on the wall before I hurt myself with it. Oh, I'm thinking about that. I guess my Coke sign would be good for something else, somewhere else, some other time. I wouldn't have to use it right there. I could put it somewhere else. I'm liking that Studebaker emblem idea, though. I'm already seeing that in my head. Oh, I've got a hot flash just thinking about it. Okay, let's get out of here. Go in the house. Put yourself to bed, old man. You can't stay in the garage all your life. Dang, I said. Dang again. As I was on my way in the house, I saw this. I don't know if you can see it or not. It's an old, I got this old Coca-Cola sign on the side of my garage here, and the weather's been fading it out so that it's losing its crispness. But that old faded out Coca-Cola look might just be the thing on this old breather. Like if I got that and took it off and wrapped it around that breather where it says Coca-Cola, and then I got that Coca-Cola trunk lid, oh, wouldn't that be honking? Here's my hat. My head was getting cold. Let me get a screwdriver and yank that thing down. We'll take a second look at that. Alright, there's the sign right there. And if I cut off about that much. It would be just about as tall as that breather, at least the part that says Coca-Cola and a little bit of the bottle. And I wonder how far it would wrap around. And we'll just test. It's all right here. So it would wrap around there pretty good ways. I think what I'm going to do, I don't want to start this tonight. I still got my good clothes on, my work clothes, and I don't want to mess myself up. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to spray that with some clear coat. I've got some, what do I have? Should have some clear polyurethane or something around here somewhere. I think it'd be cool to spray that. Oh, there's another look right there. I like that can. If that sign was painted on that can, I would use that, but it's a paper sign, and I know it wouldn't last long. But I like that. I like that little corrugated look there. That's pretty cool. But I think I'll save that can for something else. I believe what I'll do is squirt some sealant, some polyurethane, something on that to seal it, so it won't fade anymore, or at least it'll slow down the fading. And then I'll let that dry, and then I'll come out here and trim that and put it on there, I believe. I think that's what I'm going to wind up doing. I'll go over here to the paint shop and see what we got. One of the nice things about this is actually about the right color. This green in this sign is about the same shade of green as the front axle and the frame and everything. So that's gonna actually fit on there and look pretty good. Might be cool to take a like a clamp and spot weld one end on over here and the other end on over there, and bring the back of the clamp around and clamp that thing on from the back side. That way I could remove it if I wanted to, put something else on there. That's the way my brain works. I do one thing, I think of something else. I do something else, I think of something else. I even have the old clamp that originally came off of that breather over there. I could probably split it. It's got a nut on one end of it. I'd probably have to replace that. But all kind of thoughts are going through my brain. I better quit. Go in the house while I still got a brain. But I'm going to think about this some more. That's nice. Knock it over. Think about that some more. Let's see what we come up with. Tag plates. I thought of tag plates, but I got a lot of tag plates on there right now, and it kind of seemed a waste to put more tag plates on there. Yeah, okay. We'll let it be for now. I love YouTube and I love hot rodding, and I love the way this stuff builds. I was thinking today about my new old breather, and I got to think about this can, and I was thinking, wouldn't it be cool to sit that can up on top of there and get me a piece of copper wire and have it come out of here and roll it around like a moonshine still and have it going into the back of the carburetor where that vacuum line is. I could block that off, but I could make it look like it was hooked up. And then I came home and somebody had done a video and they said, well, why don't, what would be cool to take the bottom part of this, cut it out and set it on there and set that down in it. And I got to looking at this, and this has I believe this has kind of like a little false bottom. Like I believe there's an inner part here where the oil used to sit in, and I think there's an outer part here. And I believe if I had this off of there, I believe there is a way I could sit this on there and sit that down in there. That way I would have the whole air cleaner on there. Of course, this thing hasn't been off this carburetor probably in about 50 years, but yeah, I'm looking at this. A little shot of WD-40 wouldn't hurt that, I suppose. I'm looking at this and thinking, there's some promise in that idea. That does complete the old-fashioned breather kind of look, to have this part on that and that part sitting down in there. So, heck, I'm going to play with that idea, so I want to see where it gets me. Oh, I'm starting to really love my plasma burner. I had this thing, there was no way I was going to get the screw out of this thing, so I just took the plasma burner and burned that out, and I thought, ooh, don't I love that. But anyway, I was right. There is a double bottom in this thing. If you look inside there, you can see that second bottom. And if you look in here, it almost looks like stainless steel. But it's probably just that it was full of oil and it didn't rust like the rest of it did. But I believe I can cut out, let me set this here. I believe if I cut this around here, I could slip that over the top of my carburetor and let that other part fall down inside of it. And then I would have the effect of that sort of cover up the bottom of that breather, but it would leave enough space for that thing to be able to get air into it. But it would look like that was the whole breather instead of looking like that looks, which is exactly what it is. It looks like part of a breather on top of a breather. That would be a much cooler look. So I gotta do some measuring here. Okay, here's the same breather, but it's on here with the bottom part of it on it. And you know, it doesn't hurt, in my opinion, that it has a few rust holes here. I think that even helps. Oh, I do like that breather though. I might get me some white paint. Just paint these little stripes. Leave the rest of it rusty. Just paint them little stripes. That'd look cool. I think I'll do that. Alright, I went ahead and painted it. That's for all you guys that said I ought to, that are thinking I ought to sandblast it and powder coat it. I figured we'd compromise. I'd slap a little paint on there and make everybody happy. Y'all have a nice day. Woohoo! Oh, she's looking sweet. The only thing I can think of would make that look any better is if I had a pair of them on there. Yeah, that's what I need. 2 4-barrels on there and a couple of sets of them old antique breathers on top of them. Oh, that'd be just honking. Y'all have a nice day. Oh, another thing I did notice here, I've got a little leak, a little antifreeze leak, and I've had this little leak all along. It looks like it might be getting a little healthier. There's a piece of plumbing pipe that runs into the back of that motor, and you can't get a wrench on it to get it out, to put a plug in there. And I got this thing on here, but it tends to leak from time to time. Maybe I'll get me a little wrench screwdriver deal over here and see if I can get enough traction on that thing to tighten it up. I'll probably have to recheck my antifreeze before I take it to town too. Okay, I put a double clamp on that thing and wiped it all off, and I thought I might have lost enough fluid to need to refill my radiator, and I popped this little red thing here and it started squirting water right into the Coke bottle, so I guess I got plenty in there. I'm going to crank it up one more time and just watch that spot. Make sure it's not leaking. It's amazing to me that old engine runs as good as it is. I don't even know if it's ever been rebuilt. And 53 Cadillac engine, as old as I am, 58 years old, I'm gonna be 59 in March. And you know, every time it does something like that, I think, oh, maybe she's broke a rod, or you know, got a rod knocking. But you know, you mess around with it a little bit, do a little basic tune-up. She comes around, she starts running good again. I think, well, dang, I might get another year out of this thing before I have to rebuild it. I'm proud of that old thing. She's done real good. General Motors, when you made that one, you made a good one, you guys. If any of you are still around, bless your hearts. Okay, I guess I ought to get back to work on this Jeep, although I'm starting to feel more and more like going in and warming up my hands. Look chilly-ish out here today. Yeah, that's me smoking. Okay, you may can tell already it's running better, and you know, all I did was pop the distributor cap off and squirt a little WD-40 inside the distributor. I believe it must have had some moisture in it. Okay, here's what I'm messing around with. My neighbor found this old Stromberg 94 carburetor a while back with a breather on it, and the breather is rotted out. You can tell from down here, you can see there's holes in it right there. But this top part here looks pretty cool. And what I've got on top of this one is I've got a regular old breather, and then I've got a model a 35 Ford hubcap on there, and a Packard hubcap on top of that. I could take off both of them hubcaps. I can take the center part out of this breather. This is set up for a 2-barrel, but it wouldn't actually breathe through this. It breathes through the filament down here. But I could drill this top hole a little bigger and set that down on there, and it would give the look of an old-fashioned breather on that thing, which I think would be kind of fun. Got my drill press sitting right there. I think I'll just punch that hole out, set it on there, spray a little WD-40 all over it, and I'll wipe it off good, and we'll see how it looks. Alrighty, I went ahead and put a little plastic washer down on the top of this breather here to seal that up. There was a little tiny crack right there, and since I'm putting that nasty thing on top of it, I didn't want to take a chance of it sucking crap down into my carburetor. You know, I want to give the appearance that this is a nasty old dirty piece of crap, hot rod. But in reality, I don't want it sucking rust and grime and grit down in my carburetor and screwing up the work. So, with that said, now I can screw this right onto there. And, oh, that's just beautiful right there. Look at that. It's just beautiful. That's the look I've been wanting. In fact, that's the reason I put all them hubcaps on there. I was trying to get a kind of a high up, rounded off look like these old-fashioned original breathers, and that gives it to me right there. So all I got to do is put my little wing nut back in place, and I'm good to go. There's my new air cleaner. Oh, by the way, to the guy that's about to write and tell me that I should have that sandblasted and powder coated, you're thinking about somebody else. I don't do that kind of thing. It's all about rust for me. I had a guy ask me the other day, he says, when are you going to paint it? Why don't you paint it? And, you know, to me, painting it would ruin it. I take this thing to car shows, and there'll be 300 cars there that are painted and beautiful, and people walk right past them and walk over and look at this one. In fact, there's a guy's got a Model T. Oh, let's see, he goes by 64. Dang, I can't remember his name. Same name as a tractor. He's on my side there. But he got the rustiest old Model T in the world. He drove that thing in, and the running boards is just barely hanging on. They look like it's one good bump, and the running boards, the fenders, and everything would fall right off it. You all seen the crowd gathered around that thing. It's like the idea that somebody drove in a rusty old piece of junk, and it's roadable. Oh, it just thrills people. They just love it. Anyway, with that said, let me crank this baby up, and I got some sounds now with her new breather and her choke reset and all that stuff.
Alrighty then, we had a real nice time at the car show today. We're on our way home now. This is the best part, because this is the part where I get to drive the car. Yeehaw! car show. We're not going to the hunters, we're going to the Owl's Head Barn Car Show. Yesterday there was some American cars that showed up, and I thought, well, heck, if they can show up, I can bring my rat rod. So here I am, and there Honey Baby is up there in the front of me. She's tooling right along in her little Volkswagen, just happy as can be. Actually, I'm only going to this show because she's drugged me to it, you know. Man just can't get away with nothing anymore. Used to be a guy who could stay home and polish his nails or work on his hair, you know. But heck, I have to jump in the rat rod and go to a car show. Dang, I said, and dang again. But, you know, life is still good in spite of all that. Y'all have a nice day. Here you go, tow wrecker. That new tachometer you sent me is working just great. Just thought I'd let you know I'm tickled to death and proud to have it. You're a good feller. I appreciate it.
Because I don't have a lot of room inside my car, I had my fire extinguisher hanging on the outside up inside this fender well. When I put these fat tires on, it wouldn't fit, so I moved it and I put it up there on the back. And I got to looking at that and I thought, you know, it almost looks like a rocket engine. And I was thinking I ought to get one more, set it on that other side over there and have a pair of them back there, both mounted like that. They almost give the look like you could reach back there and pull the plug and they'd start shooting out rocket flames or something. Not that that's what it is, but it's kind of a fun look. I might grab me up another one of those next time in town and put it on the other side there. Yep, I might. You never know what I'm liable to do. I'm always in this state of wondering what I'm going to do next. Okay, so I couldn't resist, so I went in the house and I got the fire extinguisher off the wall and I came out here and I put it on the other side. Now I got one on each side. Now I got a matching pair. I think they look kind of cool. They look kind of like little rocket motors or something. Check it out. Wee doggies. Wicked cool. Alright, but I was going to talk about something else. I came out here a while ago to shoot this little piece of a video of the fire extinguishers all mounted up here. And then I went back in the house and then I couldn't find my camera. Now I walked out here with my camera and I walked back in with my camera. But then when I got in there, I couldn't find my camera. It was just gone. It just had evaporated. It had gone into the Bermuda Triangle with 63 Impala probably. And I don't know where it's at now. I've been looking all over the house. I've been in the house and out of the house and in the garage and out of the garage and back and forth. And, you know, I think they ought to put a beeper on the camera. You know how, like when you use your cell phone, you call yourself and you hear it ringing and you go find it. I think they ought to put one on the camera because I lose my camera all the time. I go out and shoot something and I come back in and I can't find my dang old camera. Oh, that's just annoying as all heck get out. Anyway, come on, Zachy, let's go in the house. Come on, buddy. Yeah, I know you out there. You out there exploring the wide open spaces. I love you, buddy. Did you find my camera while you was out there? Because I can't find it. Y'all say goodnight to the ugly stepsister. Night, ugly stepsister. Now, where's that danged old camera at? I know I put it around here somewhere. Dang. Probably being punished for not going to the 100-car pilot with 63 Impala. That's probably exactly what it is. He probably came and snuck in and took my camera just to get back at me. That probably did. I bet he did. I bet he did. What do you think? Dang. Alrighty, I guess I'll show this too. I did blatantly copy this idea from 63 Impala, and he blatantly copied it from somebody else. But I asked Honey Baby if she had an old boot, and she said, yeah, I got that pair of Uggs. I really did like them, but they're all torn. I said, perfect. And I took one, I sawed the end off of it, and I made a shifter boot out of that. And I actually needed a shifter boot. I had a hole there where you could look down and see the ground pass by. And I saw 63 Impala made a shifter boot out of an old boot, and I thought, now how cool is that? So 63 Impala, I copied you, buddy. There's a saying that goes along with that. Impersonation is the neighbor to, heck, I don't know what it is, but anyway, I liked your idea and I used it. So there's that. I hope you don't get mad at me, and if you do, just get over it. Okay then, there's that. Y'all have a nice day. Okay, here we are at the car show, and we got a box. There's a guy named Home Motorsports. He's kind of a rambler, motorhead, and he told me he was going to send us something cool. So I opened up the box, and look at this. It's a chocolate bar with my hot rod in the forward, and his Rambler station wagon peeking its nose out of the garage. See that? And then it says "Wicked Cool" on the back. And I said to Trish, well, I can't eat this. She says, I can. What I meant was I didn't want to eat it because I didn't want to spoil the picture. Look at this one here. That's his Ramblers. That says dang and dang again. That's his other Ramblers. This one is like, he actually took this one. This was a 4-door station wagon. He made it into a 2-door station wagon. He cut one apart and put it back together. That's just awesome. Put a straight axle under the front. Rusty Nuts Car Club. That's the club that they go to down there. Oh, look, here comes another Volkswagen. That's a pretty one. And what does this one say? This is my hot rod again in the forward. Life is good. I bet you saved the best for last. Oh, you look at that beautiful Roadster there. That's just lovely. What does it say? Eat your heart out, 63 Impala.
2-door.
Hey there. Yeah. So we may not be at the 100, but we're still having fun, right, baby?
Yes, we are.
So there's this fella out on YouTube that goes by Tow Wrecker, and he's got a truck he calls Tachometer. And the other day, he said to me that he had a tachometer, an old one, an old Stuart Warner tachometer. Now, where did that thing go? I must have set it down here the other day because I was out here messing with something. There it is right there. There's an old Stuart Warner tachometer from back in the old days. Got a mount on it. This mount is adjustable. I can loosen this band. Right now, if it sits on the mount, it sits sideways, but I can loosen that band and get it to sit straight. My thinking is I'm going to put it right there. Oh, that's just going to look honking. But anyway, you know, I told him, he said he'd give it to me. I said, well, I'll pay you for shipping. He said, no, don't do that. Just send me something. He said, just find something in the shop you like and send me something. So I thought that's a pretty cool concept, you know. He'd send me something he don't need. And he said, I like surprises. So I ain't figured out what I'm going to send him yet, but I'm going to send him a surprise. Anyway, when I get a chance, I'm going to get out here and hook this baby up. I'm trying to remember how it works. Maybe it tells me on the back. I think there's a hot wire and a ground wire and one wire that goes to the positive side of the coil, but I'll double check that before I hook it up because I don't want to burn anything up. And I ain't got my glasses on, but it looks like there might be something on the back of that to help guide me. But anyway, I just thought I'd share that with y'all. I think that's just honking, and it's going to look good. It's crooked right now, but I can, like I said, I can loosen that band, straighten it up, and it'll sit right up there. And oh, that'll just be better than me. That's better than having a new one. Alrighty then, there's that. So there's this fella out on YouTube named Tow Wrecker, and Tow Wrecker sent me a Stuart Warner tachometer, an old one, the other day, and said it works. So I was going to put it in, but I wanted to test it myself before I put it in and also figure out the wiring. So I wired it up here, and it does work. I'm just tickled to death about it. I'm going to see if I can show you it working. It's one of those moments where it'd be nice if I had a helmet cam or something so that I could look at it and you could look at it, but I've never been able to get one of them things to work right. So I'm just going to let Mr. Tripod hold y'all up here, and then I'm going to show you it if I can. So I'll start off by cranking this baby. Then I hook the wire, this wire, to the negative side of the coil. It's working, you see that? Can you see it? It's working. Try getting y'all a little closer. Do that again. Is it working? Oh, it's that sweet. Okay, so now, with that said, I'm going to mount it to the dash. I'll cut y'all off till I get you around there where you can see what I'm doing next. Okay, now she's working and she's running. I'll reach over here where I can touch the gas, and I'll give her a little gas so you can see it. Oh, that's so sweet. I just love that. I wound up mounting it on the steering column instead of the dash because I realized it was a column mount setup. And you know, back when I was a kid in high school, if you had a hot rod and a spare 25 bucks, you'd go out and buy yourself a tachometer and mount it on the steering column, and that was like cool as grits. Well, rather than go to all the trouble to mount it on the dash, have those wires showing, have it blocking my view, I thought, well, why fight it? Put it right where it's supposed to be, which I did, and it's perfect, and I'm perfectly happy with it. And so is Trisha Michaela, right? Whee! So anyway, we're going to the car show again tomorrow, and I think I'm going to drive this baby. I went there today, and even if it's a foreign auto car show, there was American cars there, so I thought, well, heck, I could have drove my rat rod. So that's what I'm going to do, driving this baby to the show tomorrow. Alrighty then, I got something cool to share with y'all. My little honey baby's gone to liking the idea of taking pictures lately, and I taught her to use some power tools, and she figured out how to put a photograph on a piece of canvas and frame it. That's what we have here. Now check this out. Let me get y'all in the light good. That's a picture of my little hot rod sitting in front of the rat rod garage with the 56 Ford next to it, and there's a little Volkswagen Cinderella peeking around the corner, and it's all on a framed canvas frame. Just look at that. Just look at it. Oh, it's just fabulous, don't you think? I think it's just fabulous. Anyway, I decided to share that with y'all. She's a doing this, and I think it's honking. It's just honking. In fact, I'm thinking 63 Impala needs a picture of his old beat up rattle trap Chevrolet there, all framed and put up in canvas and everything. And my little honey baby could do one for him, probably if he acted real nice. Don't you just love that? I just love that. Dang, sure is fun to have a talented wife and all. Y'all have a nice day. You know, I was thinking, okay, I'll talk some more about that. I was telling Honey Baby the other day, we could go to a car show, hang a bunch of these out, and tell folks if they wanted us to make them one or wanted her to make them one, she could, you know, for a few bucks. Take a picture of their car, put it on canvas, put it in a frame or on a little canvas board like a picture frame. That's just honking. I don't care how you look at it. It's just honking. All right, I'll shut up now.